Welcome back to tHCO Talks, episode 6. Uh, the returns return. We're still here. It's 2 weeks in a row. It's such a surprise. This week we got me, Cerebral, and Pumbaa, and we'll go from there. One thing you might notice is Pumbaa's going to sound different, probably a lot crisper. He got a new microphone, so that's the different voice you're probably hearing. Anyway, let's get on to the first topic. What do we want to talk about this week?
We can, I don't know. We can talk about that new theHunter update.
The flip-flop day thing that
Flip-flop
went
day.
around.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did anybody do it? I didn't spend the time to do it. I looked at it. I was like, is it really worth my time to just go out and do the objectives to get, I think it was a tent or a tower. I don't know. It really wasn't worth
it. It was a tripod stand.
Tripod.
Yeah, a tripod. That's really not. If it was a tree stand, I probably would have done it, or a tent. I can always use those, but
tents are
tripods
always the ones that I do. Like if I see a tent, I'm always going to do a tent one. But everything else is kind of because I'm more of an active hunter rather than like sitting in a tree stand. So
yeah.
One thing I will say is I would have preferred another Father's Day mission like they did last year, as opposed to the National Flip-Flop Day thing. You know,
I don't
remember the Father's Day one last year.
What was it? It wasn't bad. I remember it not being bad. It was.
Wait, the Father's Day one or the Mother's?
Yeah.
Was there a Mother's Day one too?
I thought there was just a Father's Day one.
I think I remember one of them.
I remember the Mother's Day one with like the flowers and everything like that. Usually they have one every year.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was. Yeah.
I know there was a Father's Day one though too, because I have the trophy from it. I think. I don't know. So if someone wants to correct us in the comments, because I'm sure there's somebody that knows a little more than us about Hunter Classics. But I don't know. One thing I will say is I wish they would have done like some sort of new collectible like they used to do. You know, with the St. Patrick's Day thing, they always used to do the pot of gold. Or Valentine's Day, they did the roses and the teddy bears.
Christmas, it was the presents and whatnot.
Yeah, I wish they would have done like different flip flops. You know, that would have been kind of
that would have been smart too. Yeah.
Crocs. Put it down like camouflage Crocs and stuff.
Yeah, you know that I don't know. It seemed kind of like, not to say a low effort event, because any event they do takes a decent amount of programming, but I felt like they could have done better.
It was kind of one of their lower end ones and stuff like that, but
yeah.
I hope they're planning on adding another animal soon. That's like not a bird or like a rabbit.
What was our last animal? Was that the wood grouse?
Yeah, wood grouse.
Wood grouse.
The one before that was the fallow deer. Yeah, so that one was pretty good.
I kind of want more predatory animals, to be honest. Like I want. I don't know what,
well,
but I want a good predatory animal.
I'd like to see a predatory animal that's not like a bobcat or a lynx or a puma for that matter, because they're kind of absurdly kind of hard to hunt. At least for the lynxes and the pumas, in my opinion.
I mean, I'm sure
if you know the spots, they're pretty easy, but.
Dude, I think Wolverines and groundhogs would go so good in this game. They can make mounds and stuff. Well, it'd be the same as a Wolverine, really.
Well, the scoring on a groundhog, I don't know how you get that.
Tail length or something?
I don't think that's an actual thing.
Like, no, as far as I know, usually you don't score.
As far as I know, they score stuff.
How do they?
I feel like they score stuff on like a actual like Boone and Crockett thing.
Yeah, it is based on an actual
skull. It'd be probably skull.
It would have to be skull.
I don't know.
Is there a groundhog, aka woodchuck season? Is that a thing?
I don't know. I don't think so up here.
Maybe I'm not sure around here. That'd be a fur bear. No, it wouldn't be a fur bear. Would that be on small game license?
It's just got an open season, I thought. Like coyote, varmint.
Might.
I have no idea.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Either
Outside of
way,
that, though, like, what other predatory animals could they add?
I don't know.
Mountain lion.
They have puma though.
That'd be too
That's the
much like
thing.
the
They have.
puma.
That's true. Possum,
No, like
weasel.
something on. Do they have predatory animals that you can hunt in like jungle areas? Because then you could put it in.
How about a
Croc.
baboon?
Pick a bean.
Crocs.
Baboons.
Like the saltwater crocs or something like that.
Yeah, crocs
Of
would be
course,
pretty cool.
bro, I'm playing classic right now. Still looking for a whitetail P-tarm. Of course, I hear a puma call before I find a whitetail P-tarm. Like,
Yeah, that's how it
these are,
works.
yeah, no, P-tarms suck. And anyone who disagrees, you're wrong. You're just objectively wrong.
I think you're biased.
No, there's no bias.
P-tarm
Whitetail are
are
just the
they're
best
pretty bad.
species. P-tarm are the worst.
They need it. I think the groundhog one. I don't know if they're actually. I just looked up real quick. I don't think there actually is an actual scoring thing for groundhogs in real life. But I think they still need to add a map with like plains bison, groundhog, jackrabbits, like big jackrabbits, like 20-pounder
Jackalope.
jackrabbits, and antelope with some other prairie animal. But they need to add antelope. Antelope is like one of the it's one of the bigger game animals in North America, and they just haven't added it yet.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I've heard in the past that Classic is kind of becoming the Hunter
Oh,
Primal
dude.
in a sense, where we
Yeah.
aren't really going to get much for new content. If you guys have ever seen the meme, where it's Expansive Worlds, there's the three people in the pool, and it's Expansive Worlds as the adult holding up a kid as Call of the Wild, while the
Oh
Hunter
yeah, and one's
Classic is in the
drowning.
background
The Hunter
Yeah.
Classic's
landing.
drowning.
And then there's the Hunter Primal at the bottom of the pool, just a skeleton.
Yeah.
But
You know what,
that's
dude?
I
They
mean,
had
that's
so
I
kind
much
think
of
they'll
what's
get that up
potential.
and
happening.
running, but
They had so
I
much
mean,
potential, dude. They could have added like a Texas map or like a map like that in like Oklahoma or something, where
see, and
pronghorn
I
do
don't.
live.
I think that EW is kind of not to say that they don't want to continue the game, but I believe that they think the people want better graphics, that kind of stuff. Where all we really want is a good hunting game with a good hunting experience, and that's why you still
Yeah.
have people playing classic, and it's still got such a great community, I guess,
because I
for
mean,
the
here's
most
the
part.
thing: the Hunter Classic, like you might not have 100% graphics. I mean, the game was made like 10, 11 years
It
ago,
was
so I
made
mean,
in
back then it was
'09.
like phenomenal graphics. But I mean, they're still good nowadays. They're still towards the top of the list when it comes to graphics. But like the graphics aren't everything. It's like you still have to have like for me, Call of the Wild is like there's kind of too many animals on Call of the Wild, and it's just kind of a dumber gameplay. Like the animals are they're more like
Arcadey.
predictable. Yeah, with the
Like you just
classic,
run it.
it's like at
Yeah.
any point you can run into anything, and like you don't know when or how
Well, and
big it's going to be. Or
That's what I've
that's
always
kind of the
said
thing
about
with.
Call of the Wild. I've always said it's more arcadey, and like the levels have also worsened it because level one, you don't shoot the level ones. Usually on classic, people shoot spikes, people shoot all that stuff. But I mean,
Well,
if you go
it's
to
kind of
Call of the Wild, it's different. They're all
Call the
grinding and
Wild is
whatnot.
Yeah, Call the Wild has become just a grind. Who can get the great ones? Who can get the diamonds? Who can get the super rares? That's pretty much what Call the Wild has become.
A
And
grinding
of
game,
course
yeah.
hackers.
Yeah,
I mean they
hackers
have
too.
they have hackers worse than Classic, and I know Classic has had I guess resurgence in the amount of hackers, but I believe EW has been taking care of that. I haven't experienced but like two lately, so that's pretty good odds. Good job, you're doing your job, guys.
yeah, I've never come across anything that well, I did one
I have.
time on the forums. or during a competition, actually, there was a guy during competitions that was shooting like 115 animals in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like nowhere can you make a setup that does that and actually works.
Yeah, the only one
You
is
can't
a
even get there.
hog feeder.
You can't even get there if you were getting like ptarmigan, like a whole flock of ptarmigan, or birds like ducks. You wouldn't even be able to get that many in 10 minutes.
No, it was on Loggers Point, I think.
Oh, yeah,
Loggers too.
no way
Oh,
then.
loggers, yeah, no way. Pheasant is about the best, or hogs, and you're not going to get very many.
Hogs.
Yeah,
But
but it's
yeah, there's
not.
no way to trap them. Like on Settlers, there's that one group of fences that if you use it, I don't agree with what you're doing, but I understand it.
It's a good spot.
It's a good spot because the hogs can't run away.
Are you serious?
Yeah, there's a spot where you can put your hog feeder, or at least it used to be. They might have patched this by now, but there used to be a spot where you put your hog feeder and the hogs would run into, because it was surrounded by a little fence, the hogs would run into the fence and they couldn't get away, so you just shoot them.
Yeah.
Like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah. So, what do we think about the Way of the Hunter thing then?
As for like new stuff in Way of the Hunter,
Yeah, that new. Well, since we talked about it, there's been a lot going on.
yeah,
So
I think
kinda, we can talk about all of it.
the last time we talked about Way of the Hunter, I believe we watched the release trailer, and that might even be a lost episode at this point. I'm not sure.
I think so.
But
Yeah.
last time we talked about it, it was pre-release, so we really didn't know anything. I speculated that this would be a Call of the Wild killer, and currently where it's at, I believe it rivals Call of the Wild to a very good extent. I don't believe it rivals Classic, um, just because it doesn't have uh, the mechanics of Classic. It leans more towards the mechanics of Call of the Wild with zones and that kind of herd
Yeah.
mechanic and whatnot. Um, and I guess the sense that your herd stays on the map after you close it, where Classic is RNG every game.
Well, I do kind of like the herd staying on. I think that's more realistic, but I don't really like the zones because I wish it was like randomized every time. Because even in real life, I mean, yeah, they'll eat in the same spot sometimes, but a lot of the time, you get days where they don't show up
Yeah,
and they're somewhere else. Like, they're not always going to be there, and I wish it was more like that in these games, where it's just a randomized place that they're at. They're not always going to be at that place.
Yeah, that's the nice part about Classic.
I like the randomization of Classic, where I can start a game and be like, you never know, I could get absolutely nothing. I could just go a whole game only seeing does, which sucks, but have had that. Or I could go in some days and get, a non-tip or a big trophy deer. You never know what's going to happen.
I haven't
Yeah.
really ever watched any gameplay of Where the Hunter or anything like that. How exactly does it work?
It's like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? How does it work?
Like as far as Classic goes, like there's like the domes and you track the domes and stuff like that, and there's
Oh,
like no area like
okay.
the general areas of like the bighorn sheep are up in the mountain areas or timber gold trails, like
Okay.
in the Way of the Hunter. Like is it kind of like that or?
So, yeah, kind of. So there's some areas of the map where I know in one of the maps, the starting map, I don't know the name of it, but the moose are around the swampy area, which is in the
Is it
northeast,
is it Nez
and
Pierce?
Nez Perce, yeah, Nez Perce Valley. But anyway, the moose are in the northeast, along with the ducks in the swampy area, and down in like the middle or the southeast region, there's a lot of deer where it's all foresty and fieldy. So it's kind of realistic in terms of like biome where the animal is, and it doesn't like spread it out across the entire map, you know?
Okay.
One thing I will say about Way the Hunter that I do really like is I like that there's an aging system where the animals over a certain amount of, I think it's days. I think that's how it works. I don't know. I don't
I
play it
think
personally.
so.
But
I've not
over,
really checked the timer, but I've also not wanted to check it because it would ruin the game for me,
yeah,
in my
over a
opinion.
certain amount of days or whatever the time scale is, your animal ages into, bigger animal, which I think Call of the Wild should kind of take that. And not to say that they should make it so that an animal can age into a great one. That is something that just kind of happen. It might happen once in a while, which I think that is kind of, how do I say this in a way where we probably won't get demonetized? BS that you can just shoot animals from a zone until eventually you get something cool.
Yeah, that's another thing I like with this is it's more in classic in that way where every animal has a random score and it's not really like in Call of the Wild terms a level 1 or a level 2. It's just that animal. It's a mature animal. Some mature animals can be really low in terms of score, some can be super high. So it's kind of, you know, really cool in that way.
I also like that they don't have a really, um, I guess the level system that Call of the Wild has from trivial to mythical or level one or not mythical legendary level 1 to level 9,
Yeah, it's I mean it still has the stars. So like
which I'm not against that because that is a
I'm not I'm
it's
not either
something to kind of
because
it allows you to base your choice of
yeah,
what you're shooting off. You need something to guide people who aren't as into hunting as others.
yeah,
But Call of the Wild holds your hand too much, in my opinion.
yeah. I think it's kind of cool though because I mean, obviously you're going to see it's a bigger animal. So if you have a 4-star animal, you're going to know that it's pretty dang big. But I like it in that terms. It's pretty good. So the new map that came out on Way of the Hunter is that Aurora Shores, Alaska map. And not gonna lie, I've been having a lot of fun on it.
I
What's
feel
it?
like it's kind of like a remake of Timber Grove Trails to a certain extent.
What's it got for species?
It's got snowshoe hare, barren ground, reindeer, and it has mountain goats, moose, bison, sitka deer. I think it has wolves. It's got Rocky Mountain elk in some spots. Yep. I don't know what else is on there. There's a lot more on here. There's a few duck species, so that's pretty cool.
That's not bad. That's
And it looks
I
accurate
I
too.
I guess I'm a fan of caribou. I'd like to see that in classic. I know we have reindeer, but you know, I wouldn't mind seeing caribou as a new species.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
bison
that's one.
on a summer map would also be cool.
Yeah,
That's kind of
that's
one
another
thing
cool
I
thing.
just thought that the Hunter Classic could add, and that would be pretty easy. Is doll or not doll sheep, mountain goats. It's like you've already got Timberwood Trails and White Rim Ridge. I feel like mountain goats would
Oh
like be a
yeah,
really good
I didn't
addition
think
to
about
White
that.
Rim Ridge, or in some parts of Timbergold Trails.
Yeah, Timber
I
Gold I
I,
feel like would be a
I
really
can
good
see
one.
that.
Cause it would kind of be nice for it too. Cause everybody for years has had the bighorn, And that's all you find up there.
Yeah, and then they added the puma, which they doesn't seem like there's that many pumas. Like sometimes you get a hunt where there might be one every like few hundred meters or something like that.
Yep.
But as far as like the quantity of animals and like the top parts and stuff are kind of on the low side.
Yeah,
but don't forget about white-tailed ptarmigan, guys. Haha.
That's the funny part is just I hardly even really run into white-tailed ptarmigan.
I'm still hunting
in the mountain
for them.
Parts of timber gold.
It has been about a half hour, and I'm still going. I'll give you another update as if I finish it. Because I've heard 3 puma calls at this point, all from different ones, and we're still just waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The quantity of animals up there is just not like it is on other maps.
Yeah, I feel like that's why a lot of people don't go up there, is because you got chances of 3, 4 things. You got chances of bighorn, you got chances of ptarmigan, you got chances of puma, and sometimes wolves.
That's not even on like the west, like the very western mountains,
yeah.
And at the feet. They're not really like up the slopes any.
Yep.
Where you guys think I should just blast this puma?
Why not?
That's how big it is.
I just shot a bison.
Oh, it's a female. It's a female. Never mind. Not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they're completely done with the classic. It kind of feels like they are, and they're kind of just leaving the servers up. But there's definitely a lot of stuff they could easily add.
I wouldn't say they're completely done yet. I think that there is room for addition. One thing that would maybe be a cool addition to Classic would be if they don't want to add new maps, expand the old ones or the ones we have now. No,
when you say expand, you mean make them bigger?
So, like Settlers Creek, for example, is a good example. It's got area to its west, east, and north where I don't believe there is a reserve. You could make it bigger, add some new stands, maybe add a new species.
Yeah.
You could do that with a good number of the maps. The only ones that really couldn't be would be Bush Rangers, Pick-a-Bean, and Whiteheart would be kind of a harder one to do, but
Timber Gold's already so massive in terms of all the maps.
With these expansions, what they could do. By the way, I'm getting a little bit of an echo. If nobody else is, I don't know. I'm getting a slight echo. I don't know who it's coming through, but
it might be cerebral. I don't know.
I don't know.
But I'll keep on. It doesn't bother me a lot, but if it comes through on the recording, that is, I am hearing that. But what they could do if they expanded the map would be add a third lodge to the map. Instead of just having the 2.
Yep. Well, I think that's something they could do with more than just Timber Gold, because they've done that with every map, and I mean it's kind of reasonable. They want you to travel around.
Actually,
and I mean that's also like the purpose of buying tents. I feel like that helps them with getting EM sales and whatnot.
Yeah, it's every
people
map.
Want to buy tents and all that. But.
Every map, but Loggers, Whiteheart, and Pick-a-Bean. Well, Pick-a-Bean could a little bit.
I feel like Pick-a-Bean could have one in the north, like in the northeast area.
Yeah, the islands would be hard to do because the OGs would remember, oh, the island looked like this, and then you just have a whole nother island. It would be hard to do Loggers and Whiteheart, but the other ones I think would be doable.
Yep. But
I don't know. The rest of them are already decently sized.
They are pretty sizable. I know. Actually, I don't know. I used to know like the square, because I think they told us the square like kilometers or whatever of like Timber Gold and all these maps, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
They're all pretty close, except for Timber Gold. Timber Gold's like massive.
Well, I don't know. If you look at them like on the map, like White Rim Ridge and Timber Gold are roughly the same size.
Yeah,
But the
roughly.
problem is, but with White Rim, White Rim Road, though, you have like the mountains and like you can't really get up them that easily. So that kind of adds like a block on the mountain that's just like inaccessible.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Oh, I feel like Val de Bois could have a third one. Up in like the mountain area. Like way up north.
Or it could go more into the if they went to the west, they could do more of a flatlands. You know, I don't know what they would add. I don't know what's big hunting over there necessarily.
Rock or whatever, grouse now, wood grouse.
Yeah, they could do more wood grouse. I don't know. There's probably other species that they could add.
Yeah.
I'm what they could a cool feature I guess would be kind of similar to Call the Wild, where you could change reserves within the same game, or while the game is still launched. I guess would be a good way to put it.
Yep.
It would take a lot more power, I think, on your computer. I could be wrong because you would have to kind of render in multiple maps.
Yeah. Plus, I think they would have to like change their system for that too.
Yeah. That's the other cool thing about Classic is you can buy stuff while you're in the game on a whole different device because it's on two different things. The game's running and then it has the actual site.
Yeah, there's a launcher.
So the launcher, I even personally like when I was going hunting one time in the tree stand and I needed more arrows, I would, go
Log
into
gun on your phone.
my phone, my tablet, or whatever, go to the launcher, and then purchase some arrows, and it'd be right in my tent.
Solid.
So it's kind of the nice thing.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
I think
true.
you can do that. I think you can do that by like hitting the Windows tab and then going out that way. I know for some people, the certain ways
It
they
lags
do
out
it,
my game.
like their game crashes. But I've always been able, as long as I don't pause the game and then like Windows out of it or tab out of it, it'll always keep running, and then I can buy stuff that way.
Yeah, you can use Alt Tab for that. That'd be another option, or Function 11. I believe on some devices allows you to do that.
Well, I always just hit
Did you
like
just say
on like the
function
bottom
11?
left of your keyboard. There's like the
Yes,
Windows
Function
symbol.
11. Yeah,
I
I
always
know
just
what you mean.
hit the Windows symbol, and that one always, as long as the game's not paused. If I pause the game and do that, then it crashes the game.
That's odd.
Huh.
Kind of weird.
I don't know, man. I just got to get a better computer here in general.
Bro, I thought we went over this like last
Yeah, and then
year.
I bought an Xbox
Oh, that's right. You
because
bought the Xbox.
dude, I needed it. Come on now. Way of the Hunter was coming
Bro,
out. I was hyped.
and it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it. I like it. I mean, it's not classic, but it's pretty fun for a new game.
I will say Way of the Hunter is probably one of the best hunting games that has come
I
out within the last 5 to 10 years.
I just wish though
I
that
mean,
they'd
not
add more people to play multiplayer servers. You can only have 2 people in one server at a time.
on
So
Way of the
you and a
Hunter.
buddy. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But I think it'd be cool to have like 4 people cuz personally I like doing deer drives and in this game especially it's kind of fun because you have the lever actions and whatnot and it's like a newer game. So you know how classic it's a little bit chunkier. It's an older game. But this, you just click and it's graphically
Yeah.
pleasing.
But with this, it's kind of like once you buy it, you don't really have to like grind to get anything like that you'd like have to have.
Yeah, it's you don't really have to grind for anything. Usually, I will go and so moose usually give the most money in this game because the money sells by the meat pound, which is also a nice thing in this game because you can have like a level or a 1-star bull moose give out the same amount of money as a 5-star or a 3-star or whatever.
I did not know. There's a kill. There's like a kill cam like on I think it was this was like the game Hunter Pro Hunts. There's like a kill cam with like
One
the
of the
lungs
old
and the heart and like
school.
an X-ray.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, I could technically record it and show it to you if I kill this thing real quick. So the way it goes is you shoot it and then you go to the harvest screen to harvest it, and it'll show the bullet's impact, how many joules of energy it has going into the body and how much it carries through, and it'll show the impact through the organs and all that.
But
So
like so
anyway, the camera.
you could like realistically, if you'd never hunted an animal in real life before, you could use that kind of as like a guideline on where to shoot that animal on the vitals. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. And the nice thing is it's 3D, so you can really figure it out, whereas Classic it's 2D, so I mean I can see with like maybe a turkey or something, you can kind of get confused as to where stuff is. And it kind of is confusing with like hitboxes too in that game. Because sometimes you can like shoot lungs and it goes to guts and you don't know what's up and you don't know.
In Classic, you're talking?
Yeah, in Classic.
Well, that's mostly with bear hitboxes, I think. Those are still a little bit broken.
Yeah.
I think they are. I don't know. I haven't hunted bears in a while, but any bear hunter, I think, has kind of mutually agreed that they probably aren't going to fix that.
Which I don't even know if, like, for as far as humans go, like the heart's on like the left side of the chest. I don't know if they have. I don't actually in real life. I don't even know if the deer's heart is actually off centered. But even on the Hunter Classic, like I've shot animals before, and like right through this, but then it's not.
Right. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's on the left side, just with how everything works. It's not very crazy. Like it's still in the middle. Like if it's looking right at you, you're gonna see that it's in the middle.
Yeah, it's just it might be like off centered by like
offset.
a couple inches.
Yeah, if that. But it's not really noticeable in this game. I'll see if I can kill one and get a clip of it and show. But yeah.
Let's go!
You find one?
Let's go, I found one. 45 minutes later, and we did it.
I really hope you get a new P-Tarm. The same P-Tarm.
Bro, it would be a hard mission tomorrow. That would suck.
If it was the same one.
As far as the graphics go, like at what what GPU do you have on your laptop in order to run Way of the Hunter?
Yeah, I am on an Xbox.
Oh.
But whatever the Xbox Series S has, runs it pretty smooth. Now when I put it on graphical mode, it kind of chunks down, but I'm kind of being picky about that because it's still running at like 40 to 50 FPS.
It looks as if like the farther range. It looks as if the farther range like graphics quality is better than like the 5 feet and closer quality.
Well, that's the other thing is like if you look far away, it's not really that hard to make a far away detailed like game because you don't have to worry about the real like the grass blades and all that shrubbery, but all you have to worry about is the bushes, really, because that's all you can see. But it really does look good. Like, it's so detailed. I'll send a screenshot. It's just, it's really nice, because up close you can see every grass blade. And of course it's like classics almost. It's not the best, and it's like in that little, you know how classic has like the square of grass that you step on and it all goes down? That's kind of what it is here. It's just more detailed and more plentiful. But at ranges, dude, it's so like lush with trees. It looks more realistic.
Yeah.
But got a few moose here. Let's see. Just take this cow real quick.
Yeah, I don't know. That's something that I might get that. If as long as it's like a one-time purchase thing, because a lot of stuff, it's like even if you buy it one time, sometimes you still have to like get stuff in the game. It's like I'm not into that. It's like I want to buy it once and be done with it, and like I don't really want to spend more than like a total of like $50 on the game, really.
Right. Yeah, that's. I mean, I bought the season pass. I think it's $20. Now that's not bad considering you get the 2 new maps that are coming out, including Aurora or the Aurora Shores, and the next one. But I bought the base game for, I think it was $40. So that's around 60, which, I mean, if you're looking at new games, that's around the price
Well, if you
already.
got the Elite Edition, it'd just be 55, which sounds like about everything you would need. Yeah, but the Hunter Elite Edition 55. I don't know if it's on some type of sale right now, but right now it says $54.99.
Yeah, I think that's the normal price.
So like $55, it's like, and as long as it's like, okay, maybe if like every 2 years, it's like like right now Aurora Shores is like $9.99. It's like if you have to pay $10 for a new map, like that's not like like mostly I hate games where you have to buy like like Xbox. It's like Xbox Live. It's like $60 membership. It's like I hate stuff that like you're suckered into having to get it every single year in order to play like anything.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Is like the nice thing about Way the Hunter, it's not on Game Pass. So you buy it and then you own it after you download it. Or not after, you still own it before, but you know what I mean? You have it on your Xbox down after you download it. And
Yeah.
then you can just play. But to play with friends, you do need Xbox Live. That's kind of the annoying thing. But I think PlayStation does that too.
PlayStation
Now,
Plus.
if I remember, they have PlayStation Plus.
But for PC,
well, and that's
you don't
kind
have
of
to, right?
PC you do not have to. That's right. You don't have to subscribe.
PlayStation Plus sucks ass. Like, honestly, the new system they went to is horrible.
I didn't even know what system they went to.
So instead of paying for like a year of being subscribed, you have to pay per month, and there's like multiple tiers you can get. So I have PlayStation. Yeah, so like you can get low tier, which you don't get any free games anymore, or you can get like a tier above that where you get some, and then you can pay like for the ultimate tier or whatever. I have stopped paying for PlayStation Plus because of that.
That's dumb because who's gonna want to get it and only get half the games because it's low tier?
Yeah.
Or it's mid tier or whatever. And
yeah,
who's like just they should make it so you buy it, you get all the games, and whatever.
That's how it used to be. You could go for a year and then wouldn't have to worry about it. But nope.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of dumb. Ultimate, I used to pay per month, but you can get yearly whenever you want. I just decided to pay per month, but I just went and bought a year one.
How many total species are in Way of the Hunter? It really doesn't say on Steam or anything.
I think I can search it up. Total. It's got to be pretty decent. Probably around 20-something animals. And for 3 maps, that's not bad at all. Let me see here. Yeah, there's, let's see. 5, 6, 7, 28 animals. I'm pretty sure this says 28 anyway.
Not bad.
Yeah, 28 animals. And for 3 different maps, I mean, they're spread out pretty nice. And it's pretty well spread out, so. But they have the nice stuff. They have badgers on the map. They have boar. They have rabbits. And then they have your ducks and whatnot. And then they got your big game and your predators. Like, oh, that's another thing on Aurora Shores. They have black bear, I think, on Alaska, which is kind of nice because that's where they are. And I don't think many games would get that right.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a very true thing. Yeah. Anyway, I guess that'll be the end.
Yeah.
Kind of it. We can talk about Way of the Hunters more in the next episode. We'll probably get into Call of the Wild in the next episode because by then I believe the new, was it Emerald Coast? Is that the new name of the new map?
Yep. Emerald Coast.
I believe that'll be out, so I'll be able to see a little more footage of that and get, well, really all of our opinions about it. So we'll see you in the next one, guys.